Welcome to FlowandGist. We're back again like we never left. It's been a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while. What's been happening with you guys, man?
Not too much, man. Life's good.
I've been up and down.
You've been all around Melbourne.
Yeah, so this is your boys, Fizzy Easy, Life's Easy. And with me, I have my brother.
It's your boy TY Tunes, you know. We're keeping it cool.
And today we have Big Man Joe.
Big Joe.
It should be just Joe now.
Yeah?
Calls it Big Joe.
Big Man Joe.
Yeah, Big Man Joe is smart, fitness worker. It's all about the health. It's all about fitness. It's all about staying healthy. It's a new age. Everyone needs to understand that we need to keep this body, this engine that we're using, we need to keep it, going well. So, but today, we'll be focusing on a lot of things. Like beforehand, a lot of people actually sent us messages saying, you guys should do something serious. You guys
Stop playing it. But I think that's part of the game. You can't take everything too serious.
Right.
Sometimes you just play around. But today, before we get started, let's talk about fitness. I know we're discussing a different topic, but let's quickly jump into this for 30 seconds. Just tell us the importance of keeping fit. Why people need to keep fit.
Yeah, I think with fitness, initially when we first start to tackle that part of our life, especially when people go to the gym.
Yeah.
Some people might first initially, go to the gym because they want to look good.
You want to look good.
How they appear on the ads.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And that's really good too. It's a really good way to make a start. But then I think what eventually happens too, you learn a lot of tools as you go on that journey. For example, when you first go there, you don't get results instantly.
Right.
Sure. But then you learn to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
And then you develop tools like consistency. And then within due time, you start to see results. So it's like delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And then you start to, as well as physically, mentally, you start to feel better.
Yeah.
And then as your body grows, you actually start to go see how you feel, right?
Yeah.
You see what that does to you outside on your outside life.
Right.
It's like your work, your other aspects of life that you do.
Yeah, cool.
So now you're like, okay, good. And then you keep going. Your body just becomes automatic, but mentally, I think that's what keeps a lot of people in there.
I think I agree with you because for me, I feel like, when you go to the gym and then you work out and all that, it gives you self-confidence.
Exactly.
Because you're so sure of yourself that, for some reason, I need to take off my clothes. I look good. And I feel like, at the same time, it helps your mind because sometimes, we're probably thinking about a lot of things, and then the only place where you can really burn out that energy is at the gym.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I feel like, if you don't go to the gym, I think you should start doing that.
Especially in Melbourne where people are getting divorced and all that. You just fucking hate it. So let's not bury ourselves in this, let's go to the topic of the day. So
today we're looking at, over the week, Anthony were talking, and then we're looking at, what's really going on, with people's mindset, when we make mistakes in life, how do we really deal with it? So today we'll be looking at mistakes and failures and how do we really undo that situation. So why do people make mistakes? Why do we make mistakes? And, for me, when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking about what am I going to say? I said to myself that the most important thing is, the most important mistake you can make in life is a decision mistake, which is deciding on what to do. And this is going to it's going to affect your future. And I have one rule in life that whatever decision I'm going to make, if it's not something that is long-term, I'm not going to stress about it. But if it's a long-term situation, I'll take my time. And one thing I didn't used to do before that I do now is that I have people I talk to. And these people are not people who are my age mates. These are like older people in 60s, 50s, because they've walked that part before.
You want to learn from that.
Exactly. They've whatever it is I'm trying to go through, someone has gone through it before.
Yeah.
And I feel like for us not to just make too many mistakes in life, one of the things that we can do is have mentors, have role models But before then, why do people make mistakes? What do you think, Tony? Why do people make mistakes?
We make mistakes because we are humans, you know. We're bound to make mistakes, you know. And there are two ways you learn. You can learn from people's experience and you can learn from your own mistakes. And I think it's good to mix both.
Right.
Having a blend of both is because if you don't want to learn too much from people, then that way you wouldn't believe in your life and you'll be too careful. And it's not good to be too careful in life. Like you just want to live life without making mistakes.
Right.
I'm not saying it's good to go out there and start making mistakes every day, you know. But failures and mistakes sometimes in life, if you sit back and just like think about why you made those mistakes and learn from them, you find yourself like improving, you know. I think it helps us like in terms of self-development and all that, you know. You can learn a lot from your mistake and failures. I think the mix is, I believe in the blend of what you said, like learn from older people, like people that are more experienced than you, but at the same time, go out and live your life and make your own mistakes. You know? So I think we make mistakes because we're humans, and I don't think it's going to be like you won't live a good life if you just want to keep it safe, you know. And that's the problem. Like, it's a big thing in our generation. Everyone wants to be seen as, I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
I think I'll flip this to Joe, and we'll start with like the social media. What do you think, like, relating this topic to social media, do you think people are living like fake lives and, you know, everyone wants to be seen as perfect?
I think you've hit it right on the nail. That's the first direction we go to in terms of like why people are afraid to make mistakes, because everything you see is like picture made. Everything is like 100% like exactly. So people aspire for that image and they want that portrayal, right? So failure isn't real. People aren't really like I'm posting their mistakes or their failures consistent basis. All you see is like success. How my life looks like. I look good. I dress well. I got good cars. I got money. So that image, when it's projected into people's views, this is what people imitate. Right. So the fear of failure. So people want things that are like ready made. On the social media aspect, it looked like that part of it. It's like, okay, I want that straight away. I don't want, like, nobody's saying, oh man, this took me like 10, 15 years
to achieve.
So somebody say, I'm just going to imitate that lifestyle now, where if you really look into their life, it doesn't reflect. And I feel like that's a very, very big disease where if we start to delve into that lane, it will go into an aspect that will destroy almost people's lives. Look what's happening right now. People are changing how they look, their images, and stuff like that. People are like living paycheck to paycheck to portray an image.
No. Fake news. Shall we say, especially the women?
Hey, we'll let everybody's a bit on me. You don't want to get to that.
It's easy for us to say, especially the women, but I think in today's world, like, a lot of men are making the same mistakes out there. Like, you see men that like are scared to be themselves. You see people with a lot of talents and they can't express themselves. You know, they're scared of what people are going to say about them. Being a man, that's the angle we can come from. You know, a lot of men are, I don't want to use a bad word, but a lot of men are pussies, you know. A lot of men are pussies, man. They're fucking scared, you know. People are not themselves anymore. It's like, and if you see the men that, I'm taking it back to the being yourself thing, you know, everybody wants to be, everybody acts the same.
Right.
Who's real? There's no one not a lot of people are real out there anymore, you know. And I think why the girls might be living fake life and, you know, showing their boobs, making fake, you know, doing fake boobs, and men are more like not being men, and, you know. So it's like you can look at it from both sides, you know.
I think if I just quickly add, I think part of that image too, women are portraying what they want, so men imitate that, right? So women, for example, portray like, I want a guy with money, I want a guy. See men start to imitate that image.
That's where they hang out.
Same with men. I don't know if men openly, but some do too. So women think men want the image of just revealing clothes. Stuff. So they start to portray that. So I think both go hand in hand. It's a very
I mean, talking about social media, you know, every time I was speaking to someone yesterday and I was saying, social media is a mirage, bro. Like, it doesn't exist. It's there, but it's not real. The moment you put your phone down, now reality comes in. Because that's the real world. You know, like, anyone can sit down and just type whatever. But when you actually need to have a conversation with someone, what do you really have to say? You know, and I feel like a lot of youngins right now, they rely so much on the information they get from social media. And there was one time I was speaking to someone, the person was talking to me and was saying LOL.
What's LOL?
Because they're moved by what they see. You know, this is how they interact every day.
Yeah.
And the real conversation is not that. The real conversation is about what's going on in life. You know, what are you trying to do to be better?
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of youngers right now need to learn how to source their information from reading books.
Yeah.
From, listening. Yeah. From listening to people who have made it.
Yeah.
And not just relies solely on what they see or hear on social media.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, like, now with everything we've said, everything we've discussed, let's take it back to social media and mistakes. So why are people like scared to be vulnerable on social media?
I mean, first of all, I feel like social media is a short, term platform. Whatever you want to post is what looks good. Whatever I want to post is what the next person is going to see and would be like, this guy is balling now.
Yeah.
Or this guy, he has money now, whatever it is, So I feel like the mistake anyone is making on social media right now is that everyone is trying to look good. And that's because of what we've seen over time. You look at other guys who are posting, are living lavish life and all that. They have all the girls and everything. And then you're there, you're thinking, okay, when I get to this point in my life, I want to show everyone that I'm doing good. And I feel like that's not what life is about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think is that I was going to ask you, is that a good thing to do?
No. And I'll add to that. I think that's a second mistake too. I think like social media is like, if used correctly, it's like probably one of the best educational tools.
Right.
So there's so much information about any aspect of your life that you want to improve. It's all on social media. But what tends to happen is we steer away from that and we go with what the crowd is doing, right? Like he just described, we're just like looking good on the outside and just balling and all this kind of stuff. It's like, it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
I think
part of mistakes and making failures, it's a hard road, it's a long road. And people don't want to go down that road. People just want that quick fix, right?
Yeah.
They want that like that photo on the weekend that gets like 200 likes.
Yeah.
Like that will last for like a week.
Yeah.
And then again, you go back to the same. So nothing's really fixes that.
Yeah.
I think it's like a temporary fix where it should be used for you to educate yourself, to better yourself in every aspect of your life.
So the thing is, you mentioned something about, you said something about.
You see the way Tony talks? He set you up for something.
Nah, he said something about successful people, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's another angle we can look at this from. Like, do you think successful people make a lot of mistakes and fail a lot before they get to where they get to?
Exactly. I think that's what that's the big part we miss on social media, especially some of the people we look up to. There's so many pages on TikTok, Instagram about like all these motivational pages. And you see guys like Denzel Washington, like talking about failures and success and like his stories of how he became who he is. I think there's a famous quote of him talking about, if you're not failing, you're not trying.
Yeah, 100%.
Those kind of quotes.
Yeah.
So I think because it's skewed, like successful people on social media are skewed because you can see somebody with like 20 million followers and can sit next to someone like a Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
And now we're supposed to deem that person as successful as Denzel Washington. But it's not.
Look
at BET Awards just recently with all social media influencers.
Yeah.
That's why they were talking about why Jay-Z and Beyonce don't come to these.
Yes.
Because those people are not portraying what success is.
100%. Yeah.
They portray things like that people like laugh at and like on social media.
Yeah.
But they might work hard to make those videos to be where they're at. But in terms of success, like that daily grind, that rejection, constantly being rejected.
Or failing.
Without social media, like behind closed door, when nobody's looking at you, and you're just constantly grinding and showing up. That's what I define as real success.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, you can look at success in a general perspective. Yeah, everyone has made mistakes. Everyone has failed. I'm sure, like a lot of successful. Whenever you listen to them, they say that.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Denzel, Will Smith, all these guys, everyone, So that's a regular thing. But one thing they didn't do is they didn't give up.
Yeah.
They kept on going on, and they just say, I was listening to one guy who was saying, was trying to look for an advice from his coach as a basketball player, and he said the coach didn't really have anything. He just said, whatever it is, just keep going, just keep doing what you're doing, just keep doing it. So I feel like, I like to relate things into my own personal life, and for me, I've tried to be a successful entrepreneur over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I'm not tired of doing it because I know that at one point I'm going to hit that jackpot. And guess what? I'll be able to tell people that from 2 years ago, I had like 6 businesses that failed. That's the beauty of being successful at the end of the day, because you can now talk.
Yeah, and I think that's where social media fails.
Yeah.
Because nobody talks about like those 6 times you failed or whatever. It's like, oh,
I made it.
Yeah.
So we go back to the story of failure. I'll go back. I'll make it personal to me in terms of gym.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like a place like gym where you're just constantly showing up every day, you're not seeing results.
Yeah.
But you're still going.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't understand, like sometimes I post like my workouts. I'm trying to do it a lot more recently. And you will hear like a small mind person being like, oh, you work out too much. Use gym. But what I'm doing is developing tools that will help me for other aspects of my life.
Right.
Like, for example, I'm meant to be at the gym right now.
Yeah.
And like, as the afternoon's going on, I'm like, bro, I'm tired. I've had a long day. Sleep well last night.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be here till 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But they're the habits you start to beat and start to regularly, like, which start to counter. And then as you consistently build that stuff in your life, right, become more successful.
True.
Right?
True.
That's how it is. True.
Yeah, it's 100%. That's good. So let's look at how this affects psychology or psychology, right? Let's look at it. It's what would you deem good failure and bad failure? You know, what would you deem as good failure and bad failure?
Oh man, I saw it. This is such a perfect question. Cause there was a Steve Harvey what I saw like 2 days ago, where he was saying when you're on a path, on any journey in your life, when trying to succeed, there comes a point where you look back or you keep going. And he goes, when you look back, you give up and you will never know.
Yeah.
Right? You leave yourself the option of never knowing that could be.
Yeah.
But you keep going, you leave yourself a chance of, like in my workout, right?
100%.
And I think that's what good failure is. You're still like
you're still showing, pressing.
You're still showing up.
Yeah.
You try, it doesn't work. You come back, you revamp, you reshuffle, you readjust, and you go again. Right? And that's social media. Social media is bad failure, where it's like you try something and you're like, oh, they're gonna laugh at me. It's not gonna.
And
you gotta do it again.
Right. That's a terrible mindset.
That's a terrible.
Right.
Yeah. So what's your perspective?
I mean, for me, I'm gonna say this in a different way. First of all, mistakes and failures needs feedback before you can say I made a mistake.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because just like you write an exam, your lecturer says, "Oh, part A, you should have said this and that. You made a mistake in this." So you need a feedback from someone or from your action. So this feedback actually makes you understand that, I just made a mistake. And you wouldn't know you've made a mistake until you get that feedback.
Yeah.
So for example, you start a business, you're making money. And then 6 years down the line, you go bankrupt. You made a mistake. Because you went bankrupt, that's why you knew that you made a mistake. But when you started it, you were good.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you need feedbacks, results, to know that you made a mistake. Yeah, because that actually helps you know that, okay, I had F in this course.
Yeah.
So I need to go again.
Yeah.
So just this guy that was saying, he's been trying to do his learner's permit and all that. He was writing this exam like 10 times now. Yeah, but guess what? He doesn't need to really write the exam because he doesn't really need to drive. But he wants to actually show people that he can pass this thing. So that means that the result is giving motivation to go on. So for me, it's important that I need to make mistakes so I can feel like, I'm doing something. If I don't make those mistakes, that means I'm not really trying anything new. So because I'm trying something new, that I get feedback, then it gives me the energy to go back again and say, just because I missed out on this or just because I failed this one, I'm just going to show people that at the end of the day, I can be successful.
Okay.
Or for some reason, it could just be that you want to be the best in your family.
Yeah.
You want to be the best in your school, whatever it is. But there's a motivation that drives you to go back and do it again.
So what's the difference between someone making, I call it a good mistake. There's some good mistakes that build you up to become a better person.
Yeah.
And someone being a mistake.
Oh, one.
So because that's a most thing.
Yeah.
So there's some mistakes that are not good,
Yeah.
Where all your life is a mistake.
Yeah.
All your life you just keep failing.
Yeah.
Then there's a difference between like what we've been talking about, where it's like you're trying hard in a craft or something, trying to get something right, and you make mistakes and you learn from your mistake and you get better at it.
Yeah.
Or someone who's just, I'll use the word, it's just a failure.
Yeah.
You know, whose life is just a mistake. Can you? It's good with just
separate.
So we don't confuse like the.
I think you guys. I don't know. I'll let you correct me on this, but I feel like you described, if you, it should never be classified as failure. It should always be lesson.
Yeah.
Right. that's somebody on that good failure. In terms of like you're constantly learning lessons.
Yeah.
You should until you succeed. That's what happens. I feel like consider something a complete failure. My example is, for example, somebody who was blessed with like the utmost potential. Like being pretty like I think personally you don't know too, but like I went to a private school here, in Melbourne with some of like the most well-off kids, Melbourne, let alone Australia. Yeah, and like some of them, their whole life was like their path was created. They were birthed from this school, this job, and those kind of things. So what I would consider is, if you've been blessed with that, unless like if that's what you want to do though, like not saying like this is what your parents want to do. If they said this is what I want to do, and your parents do everything to
make it happen,
lay it up for you, and then you steer off, by making terrible choices without even,
like that kid is a mistake.
Exactly. I hate to use that word, but like that's what it is.
No, but I think we have to use the word. It's failure. You fail 1,000 times, you pick yourself up. You failed. You can. It's good to have that. It's a lesson mentality. But you failed. But the thing is, you keep going and you find a way to do it better. Find a way to do it right. And those. Even though you failed like 1,000 times, it wouldn't count. What the world is going to see is that refined person. You understand? But
Michael Jordan used to say, "I missed 1,000 shots before I made."
You understand? So he failed 1,000 times to get it, and as soon as he started getting it right, that's when the world started screaming his name. So failure is not a bad thing in itself. It's lessons learned. But like it's when you don't learn those lessons and you keep leaving. I think for me, it's all those mistakes you make, you don't learn lessons from them. It's not, and you just keep doing it, and that's what your life, that's what you represent, then you failed. I think we're having a discussion the other day about Piers Morgan, how he says our kids these days in school, they fail, and I think the society is trying to say, no, they didn't fail. It's like, those kids, like, they failed in school, it's failed.
Failure teaches you character. And that's what it is. But I'll ask a question, is there a time span on failure? Meaning like
there's no time span. There's no.
Guess what? I can't remember who said this. I can't remember. Was it Steve? I can't remember who said it. But he said, for blacks, when we get to a certain age, let's say 70, we're thinking, I just want to retire and just, stay in my house and my kids are looking after me. But I'm not trying to be racist anyway. But for the whites, at 70, they want to be the president of America. 75 they want to be the president. So that means they have a new desire, a new goal to become something.
I like that.
I mean, so I feel like exactly. So so that's why, the question you asked was, is there a particular, you just need to keep failing so that you can be the best when you actually, it's more like an opportunity that comes. So, okay, I started a business, and I didn't even know much about the business when I started it. But one thing I'm really good at is selling my market. I can sell anything to anyone. So this happened, bam, 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 and then I got the deal, and I delivered the product, and someone saw my product and said, I want to patronize this guy, this and that. And guess why I missed it? He was a billionaire. I went to his office and all of that, got invited in, and he asked a question. He said, so how much is one of this T-shirt? So I didn't get the question correctly. So I said 7,000. She was like, 7,000 naira. So that's I don't know. I'm not going to convert it. If you're Nigerian, you can go check it. So that's a lot of money for one T-shirt, right? Because I didn't get the question right. And the guy said 7,000 for one. That's too much. I can't do the business with you. And normally, I actually sell that that T-shirt for like 3K. You get what I mean? So just that information I didn't get right made me fail. It made me miss out on that opportunity, because this guy was going to order like 2,000 pieces of T-shirt. And then I picked that information. I picked my own failure. And I was bitter for like weeks, because I could have made that deal. I could have made a lot of money from it. So I was bitter for like weeks, and then I said, this is going to drive me to become, one of the most successful person in business and whatever it is. I pushed that business. I was making money and whatever, but I wasn't satisfied with how much I was making, because I was thinking big. I wanted to be, I want to drive Ferrari and all that. I'm thinking, would this business really give me all that, You get what I mean? So, but, it doesn't really matter where, how costly your mistake is. It's what you do with that mistake. It's what you really do with that failure. So the question you asked was, when do you say someone is a failure? I feel like you can fail it depends on what you're really chasing. You know, if you are doing something illegal, I'm not going to count you as a successful person, because failure is failure, because that's not good for the society. You get what I mean?
The easy way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you going to say, oh, I tried to scam one person one time, I failed, that's it, then I tried again and I made it? So
I feel like if you give up...
let's go by field. You asked something about time span. I think it's when you stop.
Yeah, that's
when you stop trying.
When you stop.
If
you stop trying at 15, that's when you fail.
Even when you become successful
and you stop,
that's when
you know
get satisfied. You know, that's why they say, you know, nothing grows in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, when you get comfortable doing a particular thing, then
okay, like I think I was discussing this with you. I have a lot of people that want to come on this podcast. People want to start their own stuff.
Yeah.
But they're fucking scared. They don't want to make mistakes.
Yeah, when you told me that, I'm like, you know, something that we talked about and then we started doing.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it was easy. I think why it's easy for us is probably because we've tried a couple of things before.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
and then when you
public stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done public stuff. I've been on African Magic. You know, I've been on African Magic in Nigeria. I've been in music videos, so I've done a couple things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even matter what
we didn't know, bro.
You know, it doesn't even matter what I've done.
Yeah.
But what really makes me get up and say, "Oh, we have a good idea. Let's try it."
Yeah.
It's because I've tried a couple things that I failed at.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we try again, we might just get it right.
And for me, it's just, I know you just have to keep going. Then one day it's just going to click.
Exactly.
Now, I was going to say something about spirituality. How would you relate success to spirituality? Do you think that many successful people have a balance of, you know, I'll say, I don't want to restrict to spirituality. I'll say, like, do you think they do some inner work on themselves, you know, to have mentality?
Yeah, I mean,
it could be spiritual, it could be, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I was going to say, meditation. What you believe in is what you believe in, you know, but I feel like meditation really allows you to connect to a higher power, which is beyond you. And even people that don't believe in a certain thing knows that there's something above, you know, that really, really helps you sort out some, because sometimes, you know, you're successful. It's not easy to be successful, one.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're really, you know, you get to a place where you just have a creativity block. And at that point, you need to communicate with something that is not just ordinary, that even your friend can give to you. So I feel like prayer and meditation and all that is part of success.
Yeah.
Because when I fall, when I'm crying in my closet, I'm not gonna call Tony and say, "Oh, Tony, I'm crying right now." I'm gonna be crying in agony, but I mean, my tears is directed to someone. I'm a Christian.
Tony, right?
I'm just
how your woman. Oh, your woman and Christ, your woman.
I'm using that as an example. Yeah. So, like, I mean,
I know.
I won't cry. Yeah. I'm just saying, but like, I mean, it doesn't mean I'm gonna have to shed tears.
Yeah.
But I'm hurting deep inside me because, this thing I put my mind, my time, and everything on, and then I failed at it. So yeah, I'm in my closet and I'm thinking, like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm speaking to someone. I'm a Christian, so I'm speaking to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm praying to God, like, you know, give me the understanding to know what to do next.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When you really, really fail, I mean, like, when you fail, like, just imagine you've invested millions of dollars, you've put in time, energy, and then it doesn't work out. And someone is telling you, go again. It's hard. So something really needs to drive you beyond, you know, motivation.
Yeah.
So I feel like successful people actually connect to something which is an higher power, which is spirituality. And that's just my own opinion.
There's obviously elements. You go from like where you started, where you became successful, and how you got to that level too, you know? And we have examples of like people, like, you know, people using Christianity, religion, as part of what they align with their success. You know, we thank God for the higher power.
Right.
And I think, and that's a really important aspect too, because you have to be grateful. Gratitude, when you get to a certain level in your life, it's in fact spiritual. True. Because you're saying it wasn't just me that brought me to this level.
True.
It's something higher that helped me. And I feel like that's what maintains people as part of meditation, praying, you know, like therapy as well. Yeah. Those kind of things, to be able to say, my mind is not my own moment. I need to attach it to
something
higher.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, going back to what we're saying, I mean, I think, for us to really, for anyone to actually trust what we're saying, we need to also share our own personal experiences.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Joe, do you have any personal experience where you failed and then you brought yourself back up and said, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to show up. Sometimes you don't even have to prove to anyone. Sometimes it's yourself that you need to prove to.
Yeah. I'll start from like a very personal level. When I first got into fitness, where I was working, I think it was like a combination. It was like a leisure center. So it had different sections. It had the gym side and the reception side. So I remember I was like, not to my own horn, I was always one of the fittest guys.
Yeah.
We used to always ask me, why don't you work in the gym? Why don't you work? When someone would ask me questions about the gym or anything, I would help them. But I never took that step. And I used to watch the guys. Part of the reason was we had to do group classes. And I used to watch some of the trainers run those group classes. And it was like so daunting. Like speaking in public, being in front of an audience. Because I was always overthinking. It was daunting for me. And then I met a friend who was the gym manager at the time. He just slowly reeled me in. And he tricked me. Instead of getting me to just start with a like one-on-one class, stuff like that, he put me in a class one day. He said, "Oh, I can't make it today. You have to run it." I put you on the spot. And I remember I was like, cool. I was just psyching myself out. I'm like, just focus on the exercises. Focus on this. Don't worry about trying to engage too much or whatever. And I just got there and I just explained what was on the program for today.
Yeah.
And, they were good about it because people just came there to train. I said, this is what we're doing. And, so they started working out. And then naturally, I started to have conversations and that. And I remember after the class, I was like, that was so easy, And people were like, it's like, even, for example, this thing now where Tony asked me to come here. Sorry, I don't want to go on for too long. I don't know. I just never saw myself doing this thing.
Yeah.
You guys brought examples where you might have had experience.
What the fuck?
Like all this stuff we're talking about now, like me and Tony have been friends for a while. Like, there's been times we spoke about this for hours.
Yeah.
Just going for walks. And like, these ideas come around. And like, when it gets to that step, I'm like, public speaking, Broadway. I'm like, damn, And then I think recently I'm just on this kick of like getting out of your comfort zone. I think life is like, it's a constant personal development battle.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, why don't I just do it, And even when I was coming here, I was like, I think this is what feeds a lot of people, the mics and the camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't focus on that. Just go there, have a normal conversation. I feel like those are small habits, that you start to pick on.
Yeah, right. Tony, Tony has been escaping a lot of talks today.
See, I wouldn't want to go into my personal experiences. I watched my dad, like, he's someone he's dead, he's late, so I still look up to him. Like,
rest in peace.
He came to Lagos, Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah.
With 50 kobo. 50 kobo?
Back in days.
To Melbourne with 50 cents. And this man became a millionaire with that. And what did he do? He just kept trying new things and failed. Seeing how he started this, failed, decent failed, and became as successful as he was before he died.
Yeah.
For me, that's and he also taught me how to do business, so we just go to his. What my dad used to do is if you fail in school, you have to go to the shop with him. So because he had like 4 or 5 stores in Nigeria, in Ogun State, in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so what he did was, if you can't pass in school, you won't fail in business. So he built that mentality. For me, when I was young, I didn't want to go to the stores. Like, I don't want to do business. I just want to, but I was a stubborn kid, and I'll get, once I get expelled from school, I'll be like, fuck. This man is taking me to his shop, store, And but I started learning from there, And today, everything I think about is business, It's like if you're not talking business, you're talking shit. So I learned I learned everything from
talking money.
You're not talking business. Bullshit.
What are we talking about?
You want to tell me about girls or like fuck off? Let's so I learned everything from my dad, and I came to Melbourne without nothing, bro. And you know my story, right?
Yeah.
And when I lost my dad, that was enough to just break me. But I kept pushing, because of what he taught me. It's like you keep, you make mistakes, you fail, just keep going. Life gets hard, life gets tough, and you just keep going.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just continue. I think, like you said, you probably don't want to share your personal story too, but I think what we should be more comfortable as Africans, being comfortable talking about like our failures, especially in Australia, we have stories to tell, man.
100%.
Yeah. And, people can learn from those things.
Now, I
feel like we've got to just openly talk more about failures. So instead of always trying to put that image that...
No, I think for me, I just think my dad's story is way stronger than whatever I'm going to say.
Like it's your own story.
Yeah, it's my dad's story. My dad's story is still connected to my story. Like I said, when I came to Melbourne, I was homeless. You understand?
Yeah.
But what kept me going is I know who my dad is. Like, he taught me everything. I built that strong mentality from just watching him all my life. So there's no, he's the man, I see.
Yeah.
Even though it was tough, like, while we're growing up, but like, that's the man I see.
Yeah.
I'm standing today, I'm taking care of my family, I'm doing it because of what I learned, So that's the strongest story. That's the biggest motivation for this. Like, I just don't want to take much of our time, but I've been through my own stops too, but what keeps me going is what I learned from that man. That's what I'm saying. Which is still part of
I won't know, man.
I mean, I think for me, I started doing things I didn't know I could do. I mean, I will speak about my dad too. That's my biggest motivation. It didn't used to be my biggest motivation. It used to be the person that I used to like dislike because of how we raised us, disciplinarian and all of that. But later on, I realized that, man, life is not actually easy, bro. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy gave birth to 7 boys. And for you to raise 7 boys by yourself, you need to be tough. So, and in Africa. So when I was living in Nigeria, I was having a chat with my dad, and he was telling me the disciplines that I need to, to have to be able to be successful. There was a time I went to court with my dad. It was about a land dispute, and he asked me a question. Have I ever been to court before? I said, nah, Dad, I've never been to court before. He said, great men go to court. Bro, that hit me hard. He said, great men go to court. I mean, he's a great man. And I'm like, I don't, it's not like I want to go to court, but I'm just saying that it's only when you have something tangible to fight for.
Yeah.
That's when you go to court. And those kind of things really helped me. I mean, I've been self-motivated ever since, like from back home. I've been bro, I've started businesses from 0 naira. And I'm saying I've made deals, I've done the business with people like KLP, people like, top producers.
Yeah.
Just word of mouth. And these things have really helped me. And when I got here, it was just like, man, there's constant lights, there's everything that, so I need
have no reason.
I have no reason. I have no reason, so I need to do more. And I feel like the first thing that I did was, I was having different ideas of what to do. Bro, I've had like almost 1 million ideas since I got here. I've thought about helping people walk their dogs. I've thought about, starting a entertainment business, which I've started already, Disturbing Aussie. And when I met Tony, sometimes when you meet someone and then you have the same drive, it becomes easy for you to do something with them.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I don't really like doing partnership. But when I met Tony and then we had that conversation, I was like, oh, we could do this, we could do that.
Because Tony wants to make money.
And I was like, go for it.
Yeah.
And you see, sometimes, you have an idea and your idea grows in you, but sometimes you need someone with an energy to make it happen.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
So sometimes all I just have is the energy. I might not even have the idea.
Yeah.
Well, my energy makes things happen. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes when you have that right connection, things actually start happening.
Exactly.
And then we started this podcast, and this is where we are now. And I feel like these are the things that actually, so for us to actually say, we started this podcast, and that means we can actually say, we want to do shows where we're going to invite the biggest artists, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, in Australia.
Yeah.
All we just have to do is go for it again. So that's that. I feel like, exactly. So I feel like that's really what's really helped me, and that's my own personal experience.
Do you think people were like really scared to be themselves in Melbourne?
Bro, it's everywhere.
Let's
but let's talk about what
like Lagos. Yeah. In Lagos, everyone is hungry, bro.
Yeah.
Give them the opportunity they have here, bro. Everyone will be successful.
Yeah.
Majority of the guys in Lagos will be successful.
Yeah.
Look,
the drive is there. But like in Melbourne, I think we are too laid back.
I don't think it's we are too. I think it's why are we hungry back home?
That's what, and this is what I had to explain. That's what I'm about to explain. I think Melbourne. Let's talk about Melbourne because Australia is designed for a laid-back culture, right? In terms of like, you could go to uni you could go all phases of school, from primary school to uni, and get a 9-to-5 job. She'll be living like, she'll be able to, buy a house.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to. There's no, So you see some people, like, the ballers in Australia, they sort of get shamed here because there's no culture of like,
keep
rich. Those people are not celebrated.
It's called the tall poppy syndrome, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more like the laid back, like people are like, okay, you have money, but like,
chill.
You sit next to a billionaire like at a cafe,
right?
It'd be like it's the own thing,
right?
So I feel like that culture is what is portrayed.
Yeah.
Where we come from, we have that DNA in us where
go get it. Yeah.
Go get it, which is the right way to be.
And guess, sorry to cut you. You can easily sit down with a billionaire here in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But before you catch a billionaire back home, bro, you have to be invited to some places.
Yeah.
I think that's the major difference. Like, it's easy to see those things happen here.
Yeah.
But back home, you need to fight.
You need to fight. Yeah.
You need to wake up in the morning. Okay, just imagine living on the island and walking in the Ikeja.
Yeah.
So you need to be the traffic and all of that. So that means you need to wake up like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Get ready for work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But here, you look at Google Maps. So Google Maps telling you 30 minutes. Guess what? It's 30 minutes drive.
Yeah.
But back home, if you tell you...
Yeah, so I think the thing is, so it's the tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah.
It's like you get shamed for showing off,
Exactly.
So it's like whatever you've got, keep it to yourself. Don't show off,
Look at this guy.
I think Israel at this song, the MMA fighter said something about that. New Zealand too. It happens in New Zealand. It's like, people get shamed for like being successful. But
not being successful.
For flexing their success and wealth. But, it's not just back home or where we come from. In the United States or in the UK, like, show whatever you got. Like, no one cares.
Yeah.
So they've got similar culture. It's crazy because it's a Western country, right? But they've got similar culture to what we have back home. The rich show of whatever they've got, and no one shames them for that.
Yeah.
Right. So I think,
but I think
in Oceania, like in Australia and New Zealand, I just think it's a culture where it's like, if you show off too much, there's a high chance people will humble you and tell you to.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, just sorry to interrupt. It goes back to, like, for example, when you make something yourself, you have pride.
Yeah.
And you can either, show it off or don't. Like in America, they talk about the American dream.
Yeah.
America was built on, like, even like, we could talk about slavery, even like the people that discovered America. It was built on hard work and something yourself.
Yeah.
So when you get to that level, people are prideful and talk. I did this. I did this.
Yeah.
Australia doesn't have that history. It was taken over.
Exactly.
And then people just come here.
Exactly.
You enjoy. There's beaches. There's a quality of life where you can, And I feel it's cool. I feel like if you do, it shouldn't be such a bad thing.
Yeah.
They just don't have a history.
Yeah. And I feel like at the same time, like, it's something that needs to be embedded in the culture.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ever going to happen in Australia, just as I think. But I feel like because of immigrants, over time things might change.
Yeah.
Because we're bringing our own kind of energy.
Yeah.
And then when I end up being a billionaire, and I'm driving whatever car I want to drive, there's a way I'll flex it. Because bro, I worked hard for this.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm trying to make you know, but now it's a lifestyle. You get what I mean? So the energy that we bring from wherever we're coming from is different from what we've actually met here.
Yeah.
So, is either we adapt to it or we just stand and say, okay, if I can't show off here, I'm probably just going to move.
Yeah. But there's a conversation about like new money and long money.
Yeah.
Long money being like generational wealth.
Yeah.
And new money, when you get new money, you want to
get excited.
Yeah.
Just look at my car. Man.
Yeah.
There's elements of long money in Australia here. And you see it.
Yeah.
There's wealthy.
Yeah. It goes down the line from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Those things don't faze them.
Yeah.
Seeing those kind of stuff.
But some people, like some of us, we're probably the first.
Exactly. That's why,
and then you just want to show off and do all that. But for me, I think what I've learned from this culture is that sometimes you might actually just be laid back still.
Yeah.
And just be comfortable in your zone. It teaches you how to be humble.
Yeah.
Because it comes with humility too. If you have access to all those resources, it's hard to be humble. So I feel like the culture helps you to be humble.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes.
Yeah. Some jewelry was a nice one. Rather nice. Yeah.
Let's just get one message from everyone. What's your philosophy or what's your I'll say ideology around making mistakes.
You can stop.
Yeah?
Question, I like that. I like that.
My philosophy is, man, if you're not making mistakes in your choosing fields, if you've not made mistakes or failed, then you're not living.
Yeah, word. I feel my philosophy is you should embrace mistakes. You should be comfortable with mistakes.
Yeah.
And embrace them to a way where you know it's good for you. And you should be comfortable knowing it will be good for you in the long run. And not shy away from it, you know. You fail once, try again, and just keep going. For you and yourself and, you know, for people around you, because people are watching you too.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be an example of that.
Yeah,
you know, like Tony described with both of you described with your fathers, you know.
Yeah. I mean, for me, just one philosophy is I have a plan A and I have a plan B. And your plan B should be that you should make plan A work. That's it. You know, people actually say, you know, I have plan A, I have plan B. Plan B is an excuse. But we actually say your plan B is making your plan A work, which means when your plan A fails, you go back to that plan A and say, yo, we're going to get this thing, you know. So I feel like for me, just don't give up. Just make it work. And that's it. Man, it's an heartfelt conversation because, it's real. It's real. It's real. It's real.
You know,
it's real.
Yeah.
So everyone, we need to just round up this, or else we're just going to keep going and going and going and going. So yeah, it's Flow and Gist, and today I think we've actually cut across so many boundaries.
So it's been nice having you on the pod today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So if you want to follow Joe, you want to tell people about your Insta?
You know, Joe is, you know, my Australian name.
Yeah.
Nah. But it's Arun, which is AIU, my Sudanese name.
Yeah.
My last name, MAKUR, you know.
Yeah, so that's how do you put the handle together?
So it's combined.
Yeah.
So it's AIU, MAKUR, all in one word.
Word. So if you want to, you know, keep fit and all that, and you need someone to just look up to, man, just follow Joe ASAP.
Tell Joe to draft you.
Yeah. But you're gonna pay for consultation.
Chat first, you know.
You're gonna pay for consultation and all that.
Yeah, it was the first time I started working out in Australia. I was in this gym. Yeah, and then he drafted out a plan for me, and you know, I look fit. I'm looking good.
To join that class.
Important, man.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you for tuning on to this episode today. It's been a good conversation.
Right.
And once more, thank you, Joe, for coming on the pod.
Thank you, guys, man.
Yeah, brother.
And we'll round up for today. It's been an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Most importantly, just don't listen to our chats and not pick something from it, because we've all shared our experiences.
Yeah.
So if you're failing in a particular thing and then you need to actually do it again, just do it again. There's no sugarcoating to it.
Yeah.
Just do it again. And yeah, man, we're going to catch you guys pretty much soon. We won't try to leave you guys for too long this time around, yeah?
Sure.
So peace out.
Yeah, peace out.